efficiency of movement. So what we're going to do now, I want you to take a little dip as if you push press. I want you to jump up and land in a quarter squat. So I want you to dip. I want you, as you jump up, to make sure you bring your hips all the way forward. I don't want you to jump and keep like this. You've got to bring your hips forward and back down again without lunging backwards like a banana. So dip, drive, drop. 1, 2, 3, off you go. Good. Now then, the aim of this move is to get the bar to move and not necessarily to gain height. So what I want you to do on the next 2 repetitions, think about aggressiveness of hip action, but don't necessarily think about jumping high. By which I mean, I can sort of go, yeah, which is sort of okay. I'd much rather you went more aggressively, got your hips in, and pull out that hip snap coming back. I want you to jump up in the air, indeed the squat. So we're going to say now, stick the landing. But what you mean, you're going to dip, drive, drop, and hold it here until somebody comes in front of you and goes, well done. Especially with that. Especially with okay. Now, something radically different. Put your hands here. Do the same move. Dip, drive, drop. Here we go. So the important thing is in the move, you go dip, drive, drop, stick the landing, and then stand up. Now then, I want you to imagine someone's going to put a piece of wood above your head. So the next time you do that, you're going to go up my head. So what they're going to do, we're going to take the image apart, they're going to make you, you're going to leave the piece of wood there, and they're going to cut you a hole for your head. So the next time you do the dip, drive, drop, what will happen at the top is your head's going to go through the hole, but your hands will touch the wood. Does that make any sense? You think your hands will be here. What you're going to do, you're going to dip, drive, get to the top of your jump, and then you're going to push yourself down. Does that make any sense? So I'm going to go dip, drive, drop, push yourself down. So you'll be in the air. Don't rely on gravity, because gravity is busy for this particular millisecond, so you're going to push yourself down. So put your hands here, jump, and at the top of your jump, push it down. This is where it goes terrible. Everyone's going to go, oh God, and start crying. Don't worry about it. Dip, drive, drop, off you go. Okay, let's try it again. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to walk around and say you did that wrong. Because there's no right or wrong. Okay, fine. So, you've got to delay on this drill only. You have to delay your arms. Don't start driving here. Up. Your arms extend as you drop. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so dip, drive, drop, stick the landing. 1, 2, 3, off you go. Very cool. And then stand up with the bar above you. Good. And one last time. Dip, drive. As you drop, push down your arms. Dip, drive, drop. And now. Okay, that's sort of do for now. Okay. What I want you to do is take a backstage this. I want you to see what I'm doing with my feet. I want you to be up on your toes like this. Everyone see. I want you to jump onto your feet. So from here, I want you to go from here. Do that from the side. You'll be up here, and I want you to go 1, 2, 3, drop. As opposed to just dropping here. Big balls of your feet. Just need you to drop from here. So it's definitely a dropping motion. From here, drop. Better. Good. Yes. I say this because what I want you to do, I want you to all get press this or push press it. Let's just work through the progression very quickly. Head out the way. Balloon bracing for your abdomen. Just press it. Number 1. And bring it back down. Push press it. So dip, boom, push press. Now we've done that. Now what I want you to do, I want you to bring this bar to around about 2 inches over your forehead. You'll be here. Now I want you to come up on the balls of your feet. So what I'm going to do, I'll do this from the side, I'm just going to drop underneath the bar. So I'm going to drop into that quarter squat. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, drop. And then stand. We do that again from the front. So we'll be here up the balls of my feet. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, drop underneath. With your arms straight and drive up. So you're straightening your arms by dropping underneath something. So, up the balls of your feet and drop. Not bad. Remember to stick the landing. This is an American thing I always forget. So hey, stick, sorry. Hey, awesome, stick the landing. So here, 1, 2, 3, up the balls of your feet, If you're having difficulty with it, making it higher up so not necessarily so actually drop, all I want to do is to convince you you can leave the bar where it is and get underneath it and then use your legs to raise it up. So balls to your feet, 1, 2, 3, drop. Drive up. So now what we want to do in slow motion is put this together. So literally we are here, we've braced for the push press, we push press, I'm sure we're doing slow motion. So you drill up, heads out the way, bar comes up. That's as far as it gets. In a millisecond you think, oh God, I'm going to drop underneath it and then stand up. I'll do that from the side. So I'm going to go dip, push press up, drop, and then this becomes a whole movement. There. Have I fallen off the box yet? Am I near the edge? Oh, good, okay, we've got. So, I want you to use an aggressive snap of the hips, drive the bar up. As the bar starts passing your head, you're going to drop underneath it. So, dip, drive, and drop. So, here, this is an agility operation. Anyone know what the definition of agility is? Anyone risk? Room for the trainers and therapists? Agility, anyone? Okay, the ability to change direction rapidly. So we're committing 100% to driving this way, and then you commit to changing and driving that way, and then you use your legs to drive the remainder of the load. So, elbows up. So here, let's resting on your shoulder. It doesn't quite make it with the bar. Dip and drop. 1, 2, 3, off you go. One last time, remember to land in the quarter squat. If you could just go, there'll be no point in the move because you can do it anyway. You need to get under it because the bar is very heavy. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, so one of the problems with the push jerk is people have a problem understanding how to push themselves under the bar. They have trouble visualising that. So one of the drills I'm going to talk about, which is working up very closely, I get people to stand in front of the wall, and then have the bar about 5 inches above their head, and they can see a shadow. They can fix on that shadow. They come up on their toes, and they're to fixate on that. That shadow is not to go any higher. And then they go underneath and stand tall. Simple as that.
Okay, a big problem with the push jerk is when they come down on the first dip, they bring their chest forward like so, and we want the chest to kind of come down so the bar's traveling straight vertical. So a good way to solve this is to line up 2 bars, get them to come forward a bit, and dip, and try not to touch the bars, and back up. Lovely.
Okay, so getting used to the idea of pushing yourself underneath the bar, standing underneath a bar set up relatively high, a little bit of weight on it so you can't easily move it, and then imagine you're just at the end of the drive portion of the jerk, pressing against the bar, pushing yourself down underneath it, getting used to the feeling of weight, pushing yourself down into the bottom of the jerk.
So one of the things we sometimes get is with people who have issues getting full hip extension, is you give them a tactile cue. So what you say is, you go, okay, so this is as high as you need to go. So I want you to drive, and you should touch my hand on the drive. So go. And he knows that if he touches your hand, he's extended his hips fully. He knows that if he goes too short, go too short. He hasn't extended his hips. There you go, quick, dirty, tactile cue. Let him know he's extended his hips.
Okay, the problem with most people is the rhythm and not being able to get full extension again. Okay, really good solution for that is, can you stand in full extension for me? Straight hips, squeeze your bum. Okay, can you drop down into a dip? Can you jump up, hit my hands and drop? So dip, drive, dip. Good. And again. And again. Stand.
Thank you.
Okay, hip extension again. Another drill that works for me is that when you have full hip extension, it's the extension of your hip, your knee, and your ankle. So for me, if I actually think about getting onto my toes, then I know that all 3 of those points will be fully extended. So.
Okay, speaking to the classic problem with the push jerk of not getting to full extension of the hip, just before getting to the drill itself, just work people with that jump. So what we can do is a modified box jump. I suggest using plates or something low to start off with. Start from a regular dip and jump, and get people to land stiff legs so that you know that they've got completely open here. So as opposed to that landing box jump, we normally do dip, jump, extend, land straight. And if you want to increase the height, you can do to the people that are really focused on opening up that hip.
hip flexibility in the push jerk, some people are trying to come to full extension, you better find out that they can actually do that. So why not just get them to lift their back leg up and see if they can actually extend their hips. There's some people who can't be able to do that. Basic, easy check. Go.
Okay, so one of the problems that we face with the push jerk is, especially with guys, is tight shoulders. So you'll see as soon as you start to do the movement and you start to get people down, is that they try and get down and they're over here. So what we want to do is try and open up the shoulders to begin with. As much as we do the Samson stretch at the beginning of a workout just to open the hips up, we can do exactly the same with the shoulders. So one of the only times we do a static stretch. So I'd go here and Kate would then just put a little bit of pressure on my shoulder blades, maybe hang out there just for a little bit, and just open the shoulders up, maybe a couple of minutes, and then come back and try again, just so it's nice and
Yeah. So a lot of people in the push jerk have issues with shoulder flexibility and then end up in this position or the standing bench press position. To fix the shoulder, what you do is you get yourself a nice green solid band, wrap your hand around it, shoulder up and back, take a good step back, stretch as much as you can, contract, relax, do 2 minutes per arm. When you come back, test and retest to make sure your arm's in a better position and see if that improves your push jerk. There you go.
Push jerk has a really snappy hip flexion in it, as does many other moves in CrossFit. This is a note of sensitivity to trainers who may be teaching somebody who's either formerly overweight or currently overweight, because those people spend their entire lives trying to avoid doing moves that make their stomachs wobble. Okay, so you can be sort of, you might be drilling somebody and saying, no, hips, 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 snappy, 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 and that person is actually feeling really awful and starting getting redder and redder. So just be sensitive to that, and find different words, for them to sort of get that kind of snappy hip flexion in.
Okay, when you're coaching this, you've got to use everything at your disposal. And sometimes they do it wrongly because they're lazy. So at one stage you've got to go, pack it in and do it properly. There you go.